So shall we move into Medicine Stone?
Let's do it.
This year. All right, so first we're going to talk about the 10 artists who we have seen who we're very excited to see again. There's not going to be any music in this episode, sorry. I don't feel like editing it because we're recording super late.
Just go out there and listen to them on the internets.
And I just kind of went, this is in no particular order. I just went down the lineup and just wrote down names, so... who we have seen, who we're definitely excited to see, is first off is obviously Turnpike Troubadours.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this because last year when we saw them, it was the first time that I had seen them. I'm pretty sure it was the first time you had seen them as well, right?
Yeah.
And so
I was supposed to see them once before, but I was sick and I couldn't go.
Yeah, and they're a band where I've always obviously loved them. And I even going into last year's Medicine Stone, I was super excited to see them. But in the last year, I have definitely become even more of a Turnpike fan.
Oh yeah,
and so
100%.
Like when we saw them at the Smokeout, like I was so pumped, and then now getting to see them in like essentially the perfect venue to see them, where they have elongated sets on a main stage, like it's the perfect scenario for seeing them. So that's why I'm even more excited than I was even last year, the first time that we saw them.
Yeah, exactly. And and it's also nice to be down in Oklahoma where half the band is from, and everyone in the Turnpike is the gooch of down there, where everyone knows them, everyone is excited to see them. They're the ones who I remember just last year asking everyone, who are you most excited to see? Every single person was saying Turnpike Troubadours. There wasn't a single person who wasn't saying Turnpike Troubadours. I mean, some people are obviously also saying other bands they want to see, but Turnpike was the one that everyone was excited for.
I refuse to acknowledge the comparison to Gooch, regardless of how accurate in context it made sense.
I know. I don't obviously mean to compare their skills, because it is like comparing Walter Payton to a little kid with no legs. But
yeah.
But yeah, so
but you hit it right on the head. The environment down there, because again, like I said, when we saw them at the Smokeout, it was obviously very exciting for us to get to see them again because they're amazing. But there's nothing like an entire amphitheater. I guess it's not really an amphitheater down in Medicine Stone, but still like an entire festival crowd.
Yeah.
All fucking 100% in on every song that's being played.
Knowing the words to every single song that was playing. Like, I usually when I'm at concerts, I know as many words as everyone else there, but there I was just lost. I was like, I don't know this one. What is this one? Everyone else is dancing and singing every word to it. I'm like, oh, okay, this is a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like even when they were up here at Windy City Smokeout just earlier this summer, like 40% of the crowd still knew their songs. So I didn't expect them to be that huge even up here, but so down there it's even fucking bigger.
Exactly, and that's up here. I was surprised that there was as much fan interaction as there was. Regardless of how much fan interaction was even possible up here, it's going to be so much more so down there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm hoping maybe I can go see him again at House of Blues in November if it's not sold out, which it probably will sell out because it's them and Charlie Crockett, and that's an amazing lineup. Moving on to the next artist we're super excited for is who we've seen is Jason Bowen and the Stragglers. We've seen them twice now, right? We saw them in Iowa City and down there. So is that the only times that's the only times I've seen them. I'm guessing it's the same for you.
For some reason, I feel like I've seen them in Iowa City more than once. But now I don't think that's right. I think it's only the one time. But why do I feel like...
I think you're high on pots.
I am hammered drunk in the front row of Skinnerd, where Jesus is singing lead wearing a tuxedo t-shirt.
I'm in the front row hammered drunk.
I'm in the front row hammered drunk. I think I'm just getting confused because of all the times I've been to Iowa City for random artists. But if anyone's ever listened to this podcast, you know that I'm a huge Jason Bowen fan.
Jason Blonde.
I absolutely love them. I love every album. I love so many songs. I listen to them so often, and so it's exactly what you said. I know I've seen them before, but they're just great. And being down there where everyone's going to be into it. I remember last year everybody was super into it, and and especially with Medicine Stone, people get brought on stage and they play together because it's really more than even like a music festival. It's just like people hanging out. Even like the artists are the same way.
Like I said, I haven't said this on the podcast, but I did say to you, or I have said on the podcast that we got media passes down there because we're officially official now.
We're so cool.
Yeah, which makes me super excited. But when the PR person called me to let me know that, we're on the list and all that kind of stuff, she was like, well, it's not like a festival where you can just like go backstage and bother everyone. It's not like a huge festival like that. It's pretty much just a family gathering where everyone there is getting together to see each other because obviously they're always all touring at separate times and all this. So Medicine Stone for the artists is pretty much just a giant reunion. And
Which
they all just get together and sing together.
Like that sounds like the perfect music festival to go to. Like, why would it?
Yeah,
it's perfect.
And it's just like at Tailgates and Tall Boys or whatever, that fucking Peoria festival where Cody Johnson, Ward Davis, Whitey Morgan, Coulter Wall, Paul Coffin, they were all there. What'd I say?
Johnson.
Cody, Jinx. Sorry, I got Johnson on the mind. What?
He always does.
But how they're all there, and then he had that obviously now infamous quote of "fuck Nashville, we'll start our own club."
Damn right.
Because those guys love playing together, and they just like being in that little club, and they love playing together. And that's the coolest thing is, like we've said, like you're never gonna get a new Highwaymen of, God forbid if they ever tried doing it, Highwaymen of like Luke Bryan, Jason Aldean, like Brantley Gilbert and shit, like that'd be cancerous. But those guys aren't together playing all the time, whereas these guys love playing together all the time.
And unlike the modern fuckheads that are on the radio, all the people that go to Medicine Stone are all tremendous musicians, so they can just go on stage and play together, and it's actually playing together. They don't have to be like, okay, bro, your guy's iPod has to sync with my bro's iPod so that we can jerk it at the same beat.
Yeah, well, it's like last year when Jamie Lynn Wilson was playing the side stage during the middle of the day. She just goes like, "Oh, the steel guitar player. That's the steel guitar player for Turnpike Troubadours." Like, and he was just on stage playing with her.
We're just like,
it was
Hank!
so awesome.
Yeah,
it was so great. It was amazing. So I love that feeling about the whole.
Medicine Stone. I mean, last year when we did the preview podcast, we were kind of talking about how excited we were, and we had no idea what to expect.
We'd only seen.
And we hadn't seen a lot of people, but this year going down there, I'm just thinking about all of the, like, it's just wall-to-wall great artists, which is a fucking rarity for a music festival, at least for us Northerners. You people down south might have shit every weekend that's great, but you guys can fuck off. Also, I think I'm dropping F-bombs at an alarming rate again, so I'm not sorry, but sorry.
This is the Eric Church episode all over again.
But I'm just so excited because I'm just thinking of all the different artists that we saw down there that they just put on a great show. People come on stage, they just play together, and it just feels good. I don't know what to say other than it just feels good.
Yeah, for sure. So next up is the third headliner of the weekend, who we've also seen a few times, is Randy Rogers Band. We saw them last year there. We saw them when they opened for Gary Allen, which was an awesome.
That was a hell of a show.
Gary Allen, Randy Rogers, and William Clark Green.
And
we danced with that super hot girl who hooked up with William Clark Green's guitarist or whatever.
Yeah, I realized I had no chance when she started talking to William Clark Green's guitarist. I'm like, well, all right.
Yeah. All right, never mind then.
Not even upset.
But yeah, so Randy Rogers, they're obviously awesome. I remember hearing the song, it had to have been like 2009 or something when the album came out. I heard Interstate, and I fell in love with that song. I still, to this day, love that song so much.
Yeah.
And I love seeing Randy Rogers play. His voice, he always sounds like he's losing his voice, but it works for him.
Yeah, and I feel like he's really good at like getting the crowd interaction, because that's what I remember with every time we've seen Randy Rogers is like, not to make it sound like he doesn't sing because he just says like, it puts the mic out, but like I feel like he gets the crowd into it on every song.
The only one who did that was Willie Nelson. He couldn't sing.
Well,
so he just
Willie Nelson literally could not sing. He was he was actually dying.
He was trying to stay alive the entire time.
I love Willie Nelson. He is a legend. But yeah, he was having a rough time.
We got to see Willie Nelson and Merle Haggard perform Poncho and Lefty live. So that's the greatest.
So
thing
we're
ever.
better than everyone. So ha.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Randy Rogers is fantastic. They're obviously
I'm super pumped.
Straight country.
Yeah, just super pumped to see him.
Yeah. Next is we saw him for the first time last year is Red Shaham, who last year I like when his CD Men and Coyotes came out. Like I loved it. It was super bluesy and super good, but it wasn't one I listened to too often. But seeing him live, it like blew me away of how good he was.
Yeah.
And then his new album came out, Culberson County, which that was more kind of a rock album. It had obviously still the blues to it, but it was very rockish, and it's just and that album is fantastic. So I can't wait to hear those.
Yeah,
songs
I'm
live.
really excited for him because of the fact that Culberson County is one of my favorites of the year.
Yeah,
for sure. It was, when we did that podcast before of top of the year, but even at this point in the year, it's still probably in my top 10 right now. So I'm really excited to see him play those songs. And also, like you said, seeing him last year, there was, I knew him, and there was a lot of songs that I knew and I liked, but I don't think I gave him, going into it, the amount of attention that this guy, I'm going to watch the whole set, and I'm all in.
Yeah. Which is another one, kind of transitioning to the next one. I'm going to skip over one and then go back to it. Is it just like Charlie Crockett?
Yes.
Who Charlie Crockett? When I've listened to his music a bunch, I was like, this guy's awesome. He's just kind of very old school sounding, but I didn't think too much of him going into Windy City Smokeout, and he blew us out of the water.
I was
so good.
Yeah, and I would say, not to try to downplay your affection towards Charlie Crockett, but I have been really on his music, and I was really excited for Windy City Smokeout because there was so many songs by him that I really loved. I fucking listened to a lot of his music a lot.
Yeah,
but
I
shouldn't
still have spoke for both of us. That was for me.
Yeah, but I still, like you said, was absolutely blown out of the water by how great he was live, because even as much as I loved his recorded stuff, I had no idea how great he was going to be live. And so, exactly like you're saying, leading into going down to Medicine Stone this year, that show, that's one of the top 3 shows I'm excited for this upcoming Medicine Stone, purely because of how great he was live, and to get to see him do that,
he's the midnight show this year.
Oh, fucker. But I'm still excited, still going to see it, because he's amazing.
I think it's the Friday night midnight show, so it's
I'll still have
Saturday.
I'll still have a little bit left in the tank at that point.
Yeah, because I believe, Thursday's one that we're going to talk about later. But moving on to Cody Canada and The Departed, I didn't listen to them too much. I had listened to Cross Canadian Ragweed, but I hadn't listened to Cody Canada's stuff too much before going down there last year. So him live was awesome. I did not expect that out of I had heard obviously Alabama by CCR. I'd heard is it CCR? Yeah, CCR does Alabama, right? Not Cody Canada.
Yes,
and
correct.
and his.
I thought for a second you were confusing yourself with Creedence Clearwater Revival, and I was like, nope, you got it.
Down on the corner.
That's the thing. When you said CCR, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, actually, that just reminds me. I saw this thing on the internet where it's just like, you're from a different time when CCR to you means Cross Canadian Ragweed, not Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah. Cody Canada last year, they played a bunch of Ragweed songs, and it was amazing. And
they had to cut their set short.
Yeah. Well, they just jammed too long, and they're like, we don't have enough time to play all the songs we wanted to, but we're still going to fill the time because we're just jamming too hard.
They're like, apparently we played too long, so this is our last one.
Yeah. I'm super pumped for them because their album that came out this year, I really liked. Is it just called 3? Is that what it's called? Yeah. I love that album. I thought
combination
it was
of 3 and 5.
Texas with $. I'm super pumped for them because they're going to play Ragweed songs, I would guess, and all their new stuff I like a lot. I like a lot of the old stuff too, but the new album, really, really good.
Are they also Boys from Oklahoma? Roll them joints all wrong or whatever? Yeah.
Boys from Oklahoma, roll them joints all wrong. Way too skinny, way too long.
Yeah, it's great. Can't wait.
Too damn skinny and way too long. That's the words.
Yeah. Next is our best friend of all time, Jamie Lynn Wilson.
Jamie Lynn, if you're listening, we're willing this into existence that we are best friends with you.
We're best friends.
Your music's amazing. We love to see you live, and we're really excited to see you again.
Yeah, so she was one who we talked about, I think, like the most last year of how excited we were to see her. And then she did not disappoint. She was fantastic live.
She was arguably the best set of the entire weekend last year.
Yeah.
I thought. Between the stage presence, the songs just being tremendous, playing with the Turnpike steel guitarist and just having just a great set.
And then jumping on stage with Turnpike later, which she also did at Windy City Smokeout,
And that's what I'm also excited about this year is that Jamie Lynn does not just mean Jamie Lynn's set, it means every time she pops up on stage, which is awesome.
Yeah, exactly. It's fantastic, and can never say too much good things about Jamie Lynn Wilson.
Seriously.
Her new album comes out October. Can't wait for it.
Yeah, and I feel like she'll probably play some of the new ones, which some of the new ones have come out already.
Which she did in Chicago. She played a few of them.
So super excited for that.
And she's no longer Prego.
Didn't slow her down in Chicago at all, though.
Oh, no, not at all. Hell of a show. Next up is Flatland Cavalry, who they were one who I had heard some songs by them, and I was obviously super excited to see them. But then again, they sound just as good live, if not better, as they are recorded, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, I would say they're another band I knew them going into last year, and I was excited about it, but I just know them that much more now, and I'm that much more excited because I just kind of know. I know that much more songs that I'm going to be able to get into, so I'm super, super pumped about that.
And they have a new song out, which actually I haven't listened to yet, and I need to.
Me neither. Everyone who's listening right now, especially Aaron's going to be like, you haven't listened to Honey Wine yet, you fucks? And I'll be like, yeah, haven't. Sorry, bro. Please tweet at me angrily as soon as you hear this.
Oh, he will. Oh, you know he will. Yeah. Next up is Mike Mcclure. He's the Oklahoma legend down there.
My man.
I think they're doing that 3-person acoustic set again.
They are, which was nuts. We got to get there super early, though, so we can actually get in there. Just got a shit ton of sunburn last year because we couldn't fit under the deal.
Last time I checked, it's supposed to be as hot as it was last year this year. So
I saw one of the days is supposed to be high 89, but I'm pretty sure last year the highs were in the fucking upper 90s.
Oh, great. Right now it says it's supposed to storm Friday and Saturday. Great.
Honestly, there's a part of me that feels like that's better than blistering heat.
I guess as long as it's not canceling all the shows.
That's true. Don't want any of that.
Yeah. But yeah, Mike Mcclure, he doesn't, I think that's all he does, though. He doesn't do I don't think he has his own set this year. He's just doing the 3-person acoustic.
I don't remember. I thought there might have been his own set, but then again, I have no fucking clue, and I'm just talking out my ass. As I mostly do on this podcast, for anyone who has listened before, I am full of shit all the time.
Yeah. Yes, you are. Next up is... finally, for the bands that we have seen before and we're excited for again, is Caitlyn Butts. She was one, I had only heard like 1 or 2 of her songs. I didn't know her that well at all, but she was awesome. And actually, our buddy Cody, who's also going down there, was talking about how they actually met her before she was like famous down there, and they were just jamming around a fire, and she did her cover of God's Gonna Cut You Down, and apparently it was fantastic, and then obviously she recorded it, so it is.
Yeah, and they're just like, oh shit, this girl's for real. Like there's like down in Medicine Stone, there's always people playing guitar and hanging out and jamming or whatever, but when someone like that gets on the guitar and just starts singing, I feel I could imagine everyone sitting there like, oh fuck, this person is for real.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so she's awesome, and her voice is amazing.
Oh, she's really good. I'm really pumped because again, it's one of those where I knew a few songs going down there, and I knew that she was good, but I didn't know enough, and now I know way more songs, and so I feel like I'll be able to go into it with that much more anticipation and excitement just because I know that much more.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on to one artist who I have seen and Kevin has not seen is Wade Bowen.
Racism. I mean, what?
Yes.
So I will say, as a person who hasn't seen Wade Bowen, I love a whole lot of his music. I mean, we did the Wade Bowen episode, and his new album came out. I thought it was tremendous. a lot of his older shit I know and I like a whole lot, and I'm just really pumped to see him live because I think he's really damn good, and I don't really think he has any bad songs, so it really doesn't matter what the hell his set list is. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I saw him. It was either right before or right after I graduated college, and so I was still super uber fat Steve, and I was double fisting Jack and Cokes the whole time. And I remember just loving the show because that was also when we snuck up to the VIP box because there was no one up there.
Yeah,
and
you introduced a false reality into my brain that when you go to Joe's, you can go up there at any given moment if the show's not sold out, which is a lie.
Yeah. Well, it was the case that show. But yeah, it was fantastic. And then I met him after, and I was super drunk, and I don't really remember it.
Just go up to him at Medicine Zone and be like, remember that one time I was super hammered and I said, hey?
Yeah.
I was fatter, though. Look at my face and imagine fatter.
I'll show him the really blurry photo. And I'll take a photo with him, and I'll do a comparison. But yeah, Wade
he's going to be
fantastic.
Sweet.
He's one of my favorite artists. Yeah, he's one of my favorites.
He's one of those guys that I know I mentioned during the Jason Eady podcast of, you know, I've been able to see a whole lot of artists thus far, so there's not that many artists left that I haven't seen that are like really high on my list of really excited to see. I said at the time Jason Eady's probably number one. I think he still is number one in terms of artists I haven't seen, but I'm excited to eventually. Wade Bowen's still like fucking top 3 though, so this is going to be really awesome to see him. And I mean, I know he's going to be great, so I'm not even anticipating anything otherwise.
Yeah, super pumped. So then we got 3 more of artists that we haven't seen who are super pumped. First up is Mr. Co Wetzel, who we did a few weeks ago. He's probably going to be hammered drunk the whole weekend.
Yeah. I know that I'm probably more excited than you are just because of the fact that I listen to him way
you're
more.
Way bigger fan. I mean, I love Co Wetzel, but you're definitely way bigger fan.
I love his shit. I know that there's people who don't. And if you're one of those people and you're listening right now, I don't care.
Well, obviously you're wrong because it's already one of our most listened to episodes.
Aha! So if you're listening and you do like him, I'm right.
I'm pretty sure it's already a top 5 listened to episode of our podcast.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
All y'all co-fans, thank you. But yeah, no, I love Co Wetzel. I really do. I listen to him kind of a lot. I mean, fuck, I listen to him quite often. He didn't make my top 10 or my top 5 or whatever the fuck Spotify tells you at the end of the year last year. But if I had to guess, like they give you your top 5, I would have to guess he was in that fucking 6 to 10 range. Cause
Luke Combs ain't going to be on it anymore.
Oh, no chance. R.I.P. in peace to that.
Yeah. But yeah, Co Wetzel is fantastic. Show pretzel. Next up is Reckless Kelly. They're actually not one I listen to a lot, but I do know a handful of their songs, and obviously like
Wicked Twisted Road is the
Wicked Twisted Road.
Wicked Twisted Road's tremendous. I just dig their sound in general. Like they just sound great. I realize I just said the sound and then I followed up with they sound great. So I'm doing great English things right now. But honestly,
you're an English boy.
They're one of those bands that I feel like will put on a good show based on the songs that I've heard. I've never seen them live, so I'm just anticipating. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they put down.
Yeah. Then finally, this is the Thursday night midnight show, I believe. Is Mickey and the Motor Cars. As long as they play Once in a Lifetime Girl, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I mean, I love a lot of their music. I've listened to them since probably 08, 09 or something. I've been listening to them for a long time. Not like more than other artists, but I've had songs by them saved or downloaded for a long time.
I would say I remember very far back, like when we were in college, them being an artist that popped up when we would just be in the car together and you'd have your phone playing. So I've known about them.
iTunes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Whatever the fuck was playing. And yeah, they're a group that I know that I'm later on the wagon in terms of getting in on them. But they're great. I think my favorite song by them is Long Enough to Leave, and I love the version that I listen
Fantastic
to on Spotify. He
the
starts
live
it.
one?
Yeah, he starts it off with this. I wrote this with my good friend Randy Rogers. So
Yeah.
if Randy Rogers goes on stage and sings it with him, I will probably shit my pants.
that'd be pretty dope.
Yeah, because that's all I've been thinking about after they got announced. I'm like, well, he does start the song off with, I wrote this with my good friend Randy Rogers, so
Yeah,
come on.
that'd be pretty sweet. So yeah, those are the artists we're super excited. The ones I'm super bummed that aren't there this year are Sonny Sweeney and Shane Smith and the Saints.
Yeah,
that really
yeah.
makes me sad.
Sonny Sweeney is amazing, but Shane Smith was the biggest in terms of being sad that they're not there this year, because their set last year was so damn good.
It was amazing.
I love
sang The Mountain.
Oh my god, I loved their music going into it, so I knew I was gonna like it, and I was really excited. But they were just, I mean, similar to kind of like Charlie Crockett, where when you see them live, you're like, oh fuck, like they harmonize on the spot tremendously, and they're all great players. It was so good. So yeah, I'm really sad that they're not going to be there, but
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
glad
bummer.
that we did see them.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it for the Medicine Stone artists that we're excited to see everyone who's there, who we're going to get a chance to see. I don't think we're going to be able to make it up to the Red Dirt stage unless there's someone
gravel
earlier
bar?
in the day. Yeah. Unless there's someone earlier in the day that we want to go up and wander up and see. But the artists who we are going to see, so excited.
Yeah. Also, if anyone's listening to this and you follow us and you're going to be at Medicine Stone, shoot us all the tweets and the Facebooks and the Instagrams. We'd love to say hey, and let's fucking
Drink.
have a great time. Yeah, drink and listen and drink and listen.
Yeah.
And drink.
And then next week, since obviously we're going to be at Medicine Stone, we're not going to have an episode, so we're going to introduce you guys to the Lost Pilot episode.
The very
Which
first Lost episode.
An episode that we recorded, I think, almost even a year before our first episode did, when we were just tickling our fancies of deciding maybe we'll do a podcast.
One of those
day.
things where Steve was like, what if we did a podcast? And I was like, I don't know, man. And then some shit got recorded, so
Yeah.
get excited for that, or don't.
Yeah, or don't. It's not going to be very good. But
Well, just
You
think
can
about it
listen to
this
it.
way. You heard our first episode. You saw how bad it was.
dude, actually, so if you haven't been paying attention, or I haven't posted anything on social about it yet, I've uploaded the first 4 episodes of our podcast to YouTube, because I'm going to start putting all the episodes up on YouTube, and just while uploading them, I've had obviously listened to them to kind of listen to them.
Yeah.
They suck. There's people who have messaged us saying like they've gone back and binged all the episodes. If you started from number 1, I'm sorry, it's not good.
I want to, if you've listened to all of these, I want to shake your hand and be like, why?
Yeah, like I think
I appreciate the hell
not that
of it. I really do, but I
not that our
know for a
podcast
fact
is-
that it sucked.
Not that our podcast is good now, but it was not good then.
There's certainly a learning curve. I will say that.
Our podcast definitely sounds a little more professional than it did. Still not professional, but sounds a little more professional.
Yeah.